Mimetic desire is a concept that most of people's desires are based off of what other people want, not what we as the individual truly want. Now, this means that people want a specific thing, such as they want a specific goal in life, or they want specific accolades, or they want specific a specific desired outcome, or they want a specific material product. Therefore, you subconsciously see that, or maybe you consciously see that, and you can see that this gets approval from other people, so therefore I want this for myself too. And I can't help but see that this is how a lot of people live, and this is how a lot of people think, right? From that observation, I believe that most people live like this, and they expect that their lives will feel fulfilling because they attain what other people want. But I believe that you never truly feel fulfilled living your life out for other people, or by wanting what other people want, or by living and copying what other people want, right? So to stop living like this, because I know a lot of people do it, you must first disconnect from other people's approval, and this is how you're going to do it. Right? Now, first, learning how to say no. One of the biggest things is learning how to say no to people. So many people live their life out to fulfill other people's needs, to make other people happy, to gain approval from other people. But does this create true happiness for you? Does this create true happiness for the individual? Definitely not. Right? So you and your priorities, you got to come first. You got to put your first self first, and you're the one that has to be good. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to know who you are. You have to do the things that make you happy, that, when you put yourself first, you know that you're going to be good, right? Now, I know a lot of people, they live in this sense of like, not self-hatred necessarily, but you just put other people above you, maybe because that's what you've been taught your whole life, or whatever other reason there is, and you don't want other people to feel bad. You want other people to feel better than you, and you do all of this because you have a low sense of self, and you have a low sense of self-worth, and you have low self-esteem, meaning that because your sense of self is so low, you are 120% more likely to put other people above you, to put other people's priorities above you, to put other people's needs above you, because you'd rather someone else feel good than for yourself to feel good. You'd rather other people have a good experience of life than to have a good experience yourself. And this is all due to having a low sense of self, and a low self-perception, and low self-esteem. So you have to ask yourself, does doing this action, and you have to be conscious about every action you take, but does doing this action serve me? And do I like doing this? Do I love doing this? If it doesn't serve you, if you don't love doing that thing that you're doing, then what's the point of doing it? Are you doing it for other people? Are you being nice, or being nice to people because you want approval from them? Are you going down this specific life path in your life for other people's approval? Because, if you do your own thing and you follow your own path, then you're going to be judged by other people. You have to ask yourself these questions and figure out the root cause to why you are like this. Where does this stem from? For most people, it probably does stem from like a childhood thing. I know a lot of this trauma nowadays, and whatever people talk about, all stems from childhood, and that's the truth. But it's something that you just have to be consciously aware of and be able to consciously change, because that's how you're going to be able to make the change. If you're not aware of it and it's just a subconscious action, you're not going to be able to make the change because you don't know you do what you do. So, stop the self-hate is the key. Stopping self-hate. Therefore, you're going to have to put yourself first more. You're going to have to do things that make you happy. And you have to understand that you are all you have, and you are all you need. There's not going to be anything in life outside of you that's going to make you feel better or become a better person, right? Outside of yourself. You are that person. You are enough as a person, and you have to understand that. And I know this is a lot of fucking bullshit therapy talk, but it's the truth. There's nothing that comes good to you in life from hating yourself. Nothing good comes in life when you're just on a constant self-hatred mission where you just constantly hate yourself. You're constantly beating yourself down. Nothing good in life comes from that. And it's because of that you have such a low self-perception, you have such a low self-esteem. And you need to be able to figure that out, and you need to be able to fix that, right? At the end of the day, when you're lying down in bed, you're the only person that's gonna know whether you love yourself or not. You can fake it to as many people as you want, but you internally, you're the only person that knows whether you hate yourself or not. So how do you fix this? How do you come out of this pattern of, self-hatred and self-dislike? Now, I believe that it comes down to breaking the thoughts, breaking the ideas, breaking the patterns that keep you at this lower vibration, right? Why would you reject yourself before you've even given yourself the opportunity? Right? You see so many people beat themselves down before they've even, damn, that person won't like me because I'm this. That person, nah, I'm not good enough for that. Bro, you don't even know. You don't even know if you're capable enough or not. Right? So you have to recognize these mental ideas, wherever they're from, and destroy this way of thinking. Be intentional of your thoughts. Be intentional about the things that you're entertaining in your mind. Understand, what is the actual purpose of thinking negatively? What does it bring to your life? Because I know a lot of people think in a negative mind frame, but what is the actual purpose of that? What does that bring to your life? Think about it for a second. What does it actually bring? It brings absolutely nothing. All it does is drag you down. So why would you want to give yourself a crutch? Why would you want to attach a 12 kg dumbbell to your leg and be walking around life with a 12 kg dumbbell, dragging yourself down every single day, if you have the opportunity to not be that and instead take that weight off of your shoulders and just know that you're enough as a person and that you shouldn't be beating yourself up over nothing, because there's no purpose to doing that. It doesn't serve you any purpose, right? In my opinion, you can't have both. You can't be highly successful at the top of your health, be killing it in every domain of life, if you have so low self-esteem. You're not going to be able to attain your goals, attain your desired reality, if you're living in such a low vibrational state of mind. So next time you see an opportunity that triggers the low self-esteem pattern, you must stop and you must make the conscious decision and break that pattern, because that next time that you think that sort of way, that negative sort of way, is the next opportunity that you get to break that negative thought loop pattern, right? So every time you let the opportunity to break that pattern pass you by, that's another moment that you're telling yourself that you're not good enough. And you have to understand that it's all a mind game, bro. Life, everything in life is 90 to 99% mental. If you can be broken mentally, you're cooked. If you don't have good relationship with yourself mentally, then you're cooked. If you don't have a good relationship within, then bro, you're not going to find a reason to put yourself first. You have to fix your mental relationship with yourself by breaking those negative thought patterns. Understand and question everything. What is the purpose of you thinking like that? Does it bring anything positive? Does it actually help you change your life? And I know it's easier said than done, but it all starts from a thought. It all starts from within. If you have the idea of, oh, I can actually change how I think, I see and I understand that how I'm thinking is actually dragging me down and actually has a worse effect on me than it does positive, then why am I actually thinking like that? What's the purpose of me thinking like this? There is no purpose to it. There is no reason for you to think that way. And that's why you need to be able to break that pattern of thought, because it actually is not conducive to the life that you want to live. It is not going to be putting you a lot in line with the life that you want to live, that desired life. And it's only going to be dragging you down. And you have to see that, you have to understand that, and you have to be able to break that negative thought pattern, right? So, next, you need to understand as well that if you want to make an impact and if you want to be fulfilled in your life, you have to find your purpose, find your passion. What is your calling in this world? What is your calling on this earth? What is the truth within your heart, right? I believe that a lot of these mental issues can be fixed doing two things. One thing is meditation, and there's not really many habits that I recommend, but I do think meditation is a good practice, even though I don't do it as often as I should be. I think that meditation is a good practice because I believe we're so bombarded with bullshit and just noise in the outside world that taking 10 to 20 minutes every single day to just sit there and just be and just, observe your thoughts, let them go, and constantly go through that cycle is a good one, and it's a healthy practice to have. The next one is, I believe that most people don't actually live in alignment to how they should be living. Therefore, a lot of mental issues, a lot of negative mental states of mind can come from that, because you're not living in alignment to how your soul and how you are actually meant to be living, right? And I think that a lot of people's self-hate comes from a lack of alignment to the person that they should be becoming. Because when you're living in alignment to the person you need to be, living in alignment to the person that you should be becoming, then I believe that everything else around you is going to just fix itself and it's going to sort itself out, right? But instead, most people would rather live for other people, would rather live life for other people's approval. So you have to ask yourself, what do you want to live for? What is your calling and what is your purpose here on this earth? And figure that out, bro. For some people, it might be like that. It might be pretty easy. For other people, it might be a more difficult question because you don't know yourself that well. Therefore, just because you don't know yourself and because you don't have a good relationship with yourself, you're not going to know what your purpose is, what you want to do, what you should be doing on this earth. Because your whole life, everyone has told you that, this isn't right, this isn't right, this isn't the right thing, this isn't a good thing. So therefore, it's made you question yourself when realistically you shouldn't be questioning yourself. You should just know yourself. And you should know that what you want is the right truth. What you want to do and your calling and your purpose is the only thing, it's the only northern point that you should be following. It's the truth in your heart. Right? So you have to give yourself purpose, right? What can you do that's going to contribute to this world in a positive way? What would you want to wake up for in the morning? What helps you wake up? You know what I mean? Like what is that calling that makes you want to get out of bed in the morning? If money wasn't a thing, would you still do that thing? And I believe that for most people, if you're able to conquer that low self-esteem and you're able to live in alignment to how you're actually meant to be living, this would actually sort and solve majority, if not pretty much all of your mental issues, the mental state of mind that you might be sitting in that are negative, and you'll be able to help yourself. And most people are, outsourcing their mental health. They're relying on meds, they're relying on therapy and whatever, but at the end of the day, no one is going to be able to care for you like you can care for yourself. No one's going to be able to put you first like you can put yourself first. And it's only once you make that realization that putting yourself first is the most important thing in this world, because realistically, you are all you have and you are all you need and you are all that you've got on this earth, right? This, the belief that we are just, our bodies are vessels and we are the soul, we are the internal, that aligns with this way of thinking, because we are all we have, in the sense that your soul, once you die, you are essentially just your soul, leaving this physical plane, leaving this physical dimension. And that's why it's so important that right now, that when you're on this earth, you need to be developing a good connection with yourself, building a good relationship with self, within. There should be nothing external of you that can tell you who you are as a person. Right? No one should be able to tell you who you are. Only you should know who you are. People could make any judgments of me, and I know that, okay, some judgments might be right and accurate, but you can't tell me something that I'm not. I know who I am. I know who I am in my heart. I know who I am in my soul, up here and in here. That means that someone just can't come along, tell me I'm this, tell me I'm that. Then I start believing what they say, and it puts me in a bad state of mind. And then I think negatively about myself, and I think this, and I think that, and I spiral out. That's not how I operate. That's not how I move, because I live in alignment and I have a good relationship with myself. Therefore, no one can tell me something I'm not. No one can tell me I'm something I'm not. No one can tell me I'm someone I'm not. And therefore, I can just operate through knowing that I'm living in alignment with myself. And that's how everyone should be living.